Hi, and welcome back into Half Hour Huddle. I'm Director of Content for Yay, Alabama, Aaron Suttles. It's great to be back with you guys. We took a little hiatus for the holiday season, and then, as you may be aware, there was some news happening around the capstone around the a little after the first week of January that has kept everybody sort of scrambling and busy. But I hope you and your family had a great holiday season. Thanks for joining back in for Half Hour Huddle, our preeminent show here where we allow you to interact directly with the student athletes that make the University of Alabama and the Crimson Tide so great. So here in a moment, we'll bring in Latrell Wrightsell, which if you've been following the men's basketball team, he doesn't need any introduction from me because he's been introducing himself with his play over the last month or so, has really played well, and we will ask him some about that. But first, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all the hundreds, I think even over 1,000, well into the 1,000 members that have joined Yay Alabama since I came to you last. Obviously, with Coach Nick Saban retiring, it has brought a renewed interest in Yay Alabama. We are certainly appreciative of that, and we don't need that momentum to stop as we support our student athletes the best way we can with Yay Alabama, the official NIL entity for the Crimson Tide Athletic Department. So thanks for joining. Make sure that you're getting all your merch. Make sure you're following us on all our socials. And again, thank you for joining. And if this is your first opportunity to see Half Hour Huddle, this is we try to do this every week. We're going to try to be bringing you more of these with our student athletes because they deserve their own spotlight for what they do on the floor competition, on the field of competition, but also who they are as people and the opportunities that they can get from building their own brand, which is we try to lift the veil a little bit here at Half Hour Huddle and allow us to do that. So without any further ado, let's bring in Latrell Wrightsell, guard, transferred in for Alabama this year and has been playing lights out this season. Latrell, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the process been like for you? You know, obviously playing at another program, you transferred in for Coach Oates and staff, and you seem to have fit in and now it's been inserted into the starting lineup, and this team is playing arguably as well as it has all year.
Yeah, it's been a process. When I first came here in the summer, I actually had hurt my thumb. I tore a ligament in my thumb, and that kind of set me back a little bit. I was out of practice for a little while, and then in the fall, I got 2 concussions. So it was really bad. I had a tough break with a lot of injuries, and so I know I had to regain respect from coach and all the coaches that are on the coaching staff. So just by playing defense and just being in the gym every day has helped me get to where I am now. And now that where we're at now, it's been pretty much a blessing because I came from a smaller school and now playing at one of the biggest universities. It's definitely been fun, and playing for Coach Oates, he's a really good guy. So it's been fun, and we've been winning now, so it even makes it funny.
That's right. And, your play in particular, which we'll get to in a little bit, but just when you fight back through injuries and sort of gain your footing on the team, and were you shocked? Were you surprised when Coach put you in the starting lineup, or do you feel like you'd earned that?
It was kind of a shock, but it was also kind of a thing that I thought would come sooner or later. I know I put in the work, and I knew Coach believed in me. He always told me that I just needed to do a couple other things to be where I'm at right now, and I think I fulfilled those things that he's been asking me to do, which is play harder, play defense, be able to guard bigger guards, and then be able to make the right reads. And then the way I'm shooting the ball right now is really helpful to the team, so it's pretty much a win-win situation with us.
Yeah, for those who are joining us for the first time on Half Hour Huddle, you'll see a comment button. If you want to comment live, make sure you comment, and we'll get those questions in the program. Let's roll our first question from one of our members here at Yay Alabama. This one coming to us from Rob. Which away game has been the most difficult from a crowd noise standpoint?
I would say the away game that we had that was pretty shocking and also threw us a little bit off was the Arizona game. It was earlier in the season,
yep.
But to play them in Phoenix and for them to have a sold-out crowd in the Suns Arena, we didn't think they would travel like that, and that pretty much shocked us, and it was really loud in here. So yeah, that was a game. And then I would also say Mississippi State because they thought because of last year, obviously Alabama has a target on their back, and we're their first game that they could see us at their home facility. And so it was pretty crowded. It was sold out, one of their first sold out games of the season. So it was It was really loud in there. It was a fun environment to play in.
Yeah, I was at the Arizona game, and you guys played well in the first half, especially defensively, and it got away from you there in the second half. But you're right, the crowd was kind of live there. Mississippi State, and let me give you a little which you guys host Mississippi State.
Yes.
But you'll be going to Auburn soon, and it's a small arena, but they're really on top of you. And I'm sure you've learned that the Alabama-Auburn rivalry is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's really intense. They've been telling me about that, telling me to be prepared. So I think I'm getting ready for it.
There you go. All right, let's grab another question here. This one coming to us here from Richard. What do you think about the teams in the SEC and the crowds at home and on the road? Another crowd question.
I think the teams in the SEC are pretty much all physical. Like, they all have been physical. They have a style of play where we have a style of play where we play fast, and I think a lot of people have remembered this is the fast play now, and the way we score the ball with the number one team in the country, they are understanding that scoring the ball means something as well as being physical. So coach is always on us every day. We practice physicality, war drills, rebounding, and stuff like that. So all the teams are pretty physical. And the crowds, obviously Alabama has won so many titles since Oates been here that it's a rivalry with every one of them because we didn't beat them. So, like, the crowds always bring their best shot against us. And we always know that because Coach Oates tells us every day and reminds us, it's like, these guys are going to bring their A game. The crowd's going to be there. And so it's definitely been fun. But the crowds at home, since SEC play and since we started playing, they've been rocking. I love it. And we definitely love it as a team. We talk about it after every game. We enjoy it. And, I mean, we wish you guys come out to every single game because we definitely feed off the crowd. And the crowd brings us like a six man to us on the court. So we definitely
they definitely showed out in the Auburn game, and you guys are going to need them again tomorrow against a very game Mississippi State team.
Yes.
It's often said, and we see examples of it every week about how difficult it is to go on the road and win. Auburn's got a great team. They struggled on a road loss to Mississippi State. You guys struggled in the first half against Georgia. What is it? Is it the home crowd? Is it the officials sort of favoring the home team? What is it? What makes it so difficult to win on the road in the SEC?
I think it's two things that play a factor: the crowd, definitely, and then the excitement they have from the crowd, the opposing team. I think just like for us, when we see a crowd that's pretty packed at our facility, we know that we're going to have to show off for the crowd. So I think they think the same way. It's, oh, Alabama's coming. They're supposed to be one of the favorites in the conference, and the crowd is here. We have to show out, and they get more hyped when they play us, I think. So it definitely brings their A game, and we always have to be prepared for it.
Good answer. All right, let's grab another question here. This one coming to us from Chris. What was the mood in the locker room Wednesday night at Georgia, and what was the key to the turnaround in the second half?
The mood in the locker room after the first half, OG just called us out. He basically challenged each one of us, came to every person that played a minute in the game, challenged us, told us that he's never been out rebounded like this. He's never felt like this. So he challenged all of us, and we all like to be challenged. And after that challenge, everybody just looked at themselves and was like, all right, we can't lose this game, especially if we want to be a contender to win the title, the SEC regular season championship. And we knew and Oates always tells us every day that you have to win road games to win the SEC. So we knew we had to win this game. It was a must win. And I think the demeanor changed. And also, if a lot of people don't really understand what happened in that game, some of our players got stuck in the elevator before the game. And so they were late to warm-ups, and then we were also kind of sort of late to warm-ups too. So we were only warming up with 8 guys at the time. And so it was like a whole bunch of stuff that happened before the game, but we couldn't let that excuse bring us down to a loss or something like that.
Yeah, who was it, Rylan and Mark?
No, it was Rylan and Jaron.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we waited for them for like 10 minutes on the bus before we even left. So, yeah.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Alabama down 14 at half to Georgia and goes on to win by 9, a 58-point second half. When some people say that momentum in sports doesn't exist, but clearly something happened in the second half that you guys found. Was it just as simple as knocking down shots? You mentioned Coach Oates' challenge to the team in rebounding. Was it effort? What can you pinpoint that was different in the second half?
I think effort and rebounding. We got out-rebounded by about 10 or 12 in the first half, and we still we still got out rebounded, but we only lost the rebounding battle by 1 in the second half. And that also challenged us to have more effort. We were letting people get straight line drives, and that was the challenge for us. Are you guys able to be a defensively good team? And we kind of showed that in the second half, which we didn't show in the first half. So, yeah, and we also know that the film sessions the next day are terrible if you don't play defense. So we definitely keep that in the back of your mind when you're playing in those games.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's grab another question here. This one coming to us from Tyler. Coach said in the press conference that he sort of scolded you for passing up an open shot. What's his message to you when that happens?
He definitely comes over. He'll take me out of the game if I pass up an open shot, and he'll come over to me and say, "You're shooting 48% from 3. You pass up a shot, you're going to turn it over after that, and I won't play you again if you don't shoot it." So that always fires me up because like I like to make shots, and he doesn't. And as a player to a coach telling them that they should not pass up any shots also gives me confidence. So when I came again and take those shots and make them, I definitely feel a sigh of relief and joy because he believes in me to take those shots and he doesn't want me to pass those up. So, yeah, it definitely gives me confidence.
Yeah, I'd love to play an offense like that where coach wants you to get your shot up.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. This one coming to us from Bo. You always have a smile on your face, like as we've seen here, and it looked like you have a lot of joy. Where does that come from?
I think it comes from my mom. My mom is a really happy person. She does a lot for me, and I think I take on her personality. She does a really good job of like keeping me happy, and so I just try to spread that joy through everybody else. And I don't ever try to look at any bad situation or anything in a bad situation. I always just try to have fun and live in the moment and just enjoy the time here. And I'm also just blessed to be here, so I just can't take that smile away.
That's a good characteristic to have, is to have a lot of joy. I think it's a lesson that we all could learn, to be a little more happy throughout life. Let's grab the next one coming from Mac. When I watch you play, I can't help but notice how much energy you bring. Do you feel like the team feeds off? And I was going to say, your defense, there was one possession against Georgia. It almost like you picked the guy up at half court and you were all over him. And I think that's what Mac's sort of getting at. When they see that level of energy, and does that the team feed off of that?
Yeah, I think so. Oates had brought me in his office and told me that I need to be that guy that brings energy and be able to pick up guys full court and show that I really want to be here. And I took that on as a challenge, and I try to bring that every day. And it definitely is a thing that our team needs. And for me to be able to bring that also gives our team energy. And if I can help in that winning way, then I'll definitely bring that. And that's also been a thing that my dad has coached me on, like being able to have a lot of effort, play with effort. Don't let anybody control your effort. So that's a big thing for me in my game too.
Yeah, that sort of stuff can be infectious, especially defensively. Let's go to the next one. This one too from Ben. You've scored in double figures in 6 of the last 9 games. Look at Ben doing a little research. What's led to your emergence?
Like I said, Coach Oates telling me that I shouldn't pass up any open shots, even shots that I feel like are good shots. I should shoot them, because if I don't shoot them, then what comes next? And we did the film on it, and the times that I did pass up open shots, it has led to turnovers. So every time I don't take an open shot, he'll take me out, and he's told me that plenty of times. And since the break, he instilled that in me. He called me over the break, told me he believed in me, and told me that I should be able to bring a winning thing to this team. And being able to make shots and play defense has been like a key to success for us and for me as well. So that's a big thing. And just him believing in me definitely led to that emergence of me being able to hit shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's you guys have been so much better since your emergence, because now on any given night, we know what we're going to get from Mark Sears almost night in and night out. And now with your emergence and Aaron Estrada capable of going off, and Grant Nelson and Ryland, it just seems like offensively this team has a lot of weapons. So let's grab another question here. We got a lot of user questions at Alabama. Richard wants to know, do you like playing in this fast-paced offense?
Yes, I love playing. I actually love playing in fast-paced offense. From the school that I came from, I remember on the visit, I told Coach that I was like, "Yeah, we play fast." And then they did the research and pulled up the numbers, and we weren't as close to fast. And then coming to practice, I was like, "Yeah, I know how to play fast." And there's like everybody in the country swears they know how to play fast, but when you actually see us practice and the way we play, I don't think a lot of people in the country can play like us. And obviously, you see it on the court, and it's definitely fast and it's definitely fun because we're trying to score in the first 4 seconds. And a lot of coaches in college want to score in the last 10 or get down, run a play. And that just gives us so much freedom to show what we can do. We can play in space. Our offense is so free-willing to just take shots that a lot of other schools wouldn't be able to take, a fast break 3. And I mean, that's how we're scoring right now. And that's what gives us a dynamic that nobody in the country has. We play basically 5 guards. Grant is a lead guard. And for guys to have to guard 5 guys that can shoot the 3 and dribble and go in the paint, it's really hard. And that's why I think we're the number 1 team in the country in offense. And that's what goes for that.
That's a big reason. And you mentioned trying to score within the first 4 seconds. I think there was a possession against Georgia. It might have been a missed free throw. I can't remember if it was an off and inbound, but I think Mark drove it down, kicked it out to somebody in the corner, and it was 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how fast you guys move the ball.
Yeah, and our coaches definitely emphasize that.
All right, let's grab another question. This one coming from Rich. Really happy to see your presence on the court and your contributions. What is the chemistry and attitude of the team right now heading into the final stretch of SEC play?
Just to stay focused, stay consistent. Coach Oates always brings in to us about being consistent, not taking success for granted. And we don't want to have to learn from a loss, and we should learn from a win as well. So being able to have that in our back of our minds and still be able to work, have the same work ethic, like we're losing, but we're still winning the games. And this final stretch that we have, we know we're going to play teams again that we've already played, just like Mississippi State. We have to come in with the same focus because, like Coach Oates said today, it's hard for a team to get up for a team that they already beat, but it's easier for a team to get up that they lost to. So being able to maintain that value of the same edge and stuff like that. And we still have some guys that we have to repay. So, just getting ready for all those games and then just staying consistent with what we do. And then also the last thing is our defense. We just have to get better at defense still. And it's the start of the game. So if we get those 2 fixed, I think we'll be cruising for SEC championship.
You know, this team showed a ton of character in the second half versus Georgia. You guys showed a ton of character after that rough stretch in December of out-of-conference games. You guys played maybe one of the toughest out-of-conference schedules in the country, and now leading the SEC. Pretty remarkable. Let's grab another question here. This one coming to us from Josh. Can this team win the SEC, and what's the keys to making that happen?
Yeah, like I just stated recently, I think we definitely can win the SEC. I think our offense shows that we can score with anybody in the country. I think now the last 2 final touches is getting the start of the game. Instead of us going down 19-2, I think we should start doing that to other teams. And then also another thing is just our defense and rebounding. We have a smaller lineup now, so being able to keep teams off the glass offensively, and then also being able to stop teams from just scoring the ball. We can't let people score as much as they do. And then the last thing with people letting them score is our turnovers. We just cut down on those like we did in the Georgia game. I think we'll be a really good team, and I think we'll have a long, long journey ahead of us.
There we go. All right, next one up here from Jimmy. What can you all do about Tolu to help him from scoring 35 or so tomorrow night?
We have Grant on him. I think he played great defense on him in the second half last time against Mississippi State. We have a good plan for him, not letting him catch it so easily in the post.
He's a big dude. That's a big guy.
He's a big guy. It's going to be hard, but, I mean, we've been practicing these last 2 days on what we're going to do, the coverages, making him catch it, making him shoot mid-range is something that he's not really comfortable doing, and then just keeping him off the offensive rebound, and then also turning their guards over so he doesn't get the ball as much. So, yeah, we have a pretty good plan for him tomorrow, but he's definitely going to be somebody hard to stop.
Yeah, Mississippi State's one of those teams that it doesn't look like it's a very difficult matchup, but, man, they can ugly the game up, and they're just they're mentally tough, they're physically tough. So you guys will have your hands full. Hopefully a big crowd tomorrow at home against Mississippi State at Coleman Coliseum. Let's grab another one here from Joseph. Has anyone ever compared your game to former Alabama great Latrell Sprewell? You might be too young. Do you remember Spree?
No, I don't. I didn't. So when I first got here, I didn't even know he went here. And, yeah, they were like, oh, yeah, Latrell Sprewell. That's a good name around here. And I was like, oh, okay. and they actually showed me some film, but I wasn't really old enough to watch it.
Yeah. All right, next one up, coming to us from Trenton, is Mark Sears underrated? You know, they released the Bob Cousy Award finalist.
Yeah.
And what's the top 10 point guards in the country, and Mark wasn't on it. And those of us who watched him play are kind of like, what are you guys watching? Because this guy night in, night out brings it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a disrespect level to that. I don't think they see what we're seeing. I don't know what they see. I mean, if you guys compare the stats to everybody, he has better stats than all of them. I definitely think he's underrated, and I definitely think they overlook him as an individual. Really good guy. He scored a ball. He's also like sixth in the SEC in assists too. So I mean, if they're saying he's not a point guard, I mean, they're definitely underrating him. And he scores a ball with the best of them, best in the country. So yeah, I don't know what they factor into all of the little awards and stuff, but I mean, I think it'll go to show when we win the SEC how good of a player he is.
There you go. Hey, I'll give you a little Mark Sears PR for you. He's leading. He's tied for the lead for leading the league in scoring. He's tied with Tennessee's Austin Connect. He's doing so on 2 less shots per game, and he's shooting a higher percentage from the floor. So yeah, I'm with you, Mark Sears. He's a little quiet. He's not a big self-promoter, but he's definitely underrated. Let's grab another question here. This one coming to us from Joseph. What do you think are the most important basketball shooting mechanics, fundamentals to be a great shooter?
I think just being in the gym day in and day out. I think repetition is the biggest thing. A lot of people's forms are different. There's a different way you can teach a lot of people's forms. Look at Tyrese Halliburton. His form is very different from a lot of great shooters, but he shoots the ball pretty good. So I think repetition is the biggest thing, standing there in and out. Definitely not falling backwards on your shot. A lot of guys that teach shooting tell you not to fall back on your shots, but jump forward and land straight. Other than that, I think it's just repetition, being in the gym every day and getting up all those shots. That definitely helps.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's a good comment because everyone's got a different stroke. I mean, Grant Nelson's is different than yours and different than Mark's. So, yeah, you just got to practice makes perfect. Jimmy wants to know, how much do you practice free throws every day?
My GA makes me practice free throws a lot. I practice every day, and also coach makes us practice free throws. We do games where in pre-games we do a free throw game that if you miss one, it's -3. If you make one, it's 1, and the score is still 100. Everybody on the team has to participate, and if you miss free throws, coach is calling you out, telling you come on, like begging you on. So you definitely don't want to miss in practice. So I think it's a thing that just happened to go with. I missed a couple free throws at the start of the season, not in the game, but just in practice, and he was on me, and my GA didn't like that. He told me I was going to shoot free throws, and then we did a free throw drill. I went 99 out of 100. And
there you go.
Yeah. So I gained confidence with my free throw, and I just feel like it's better now.
Yeah, I wish fans could see a Nate Oates basketball practice because there is so much going on at once. There are so many people around the floor. If you've never been, and your senses are sort of assaulted by how much is going on. So they cover it all. We got 5 more. Let's get through them as quickly as can. We appreciate Latrell giving us some time on a Friday afternoon before a big game in Coleman. Assuming Coleman Coliseum is first, what college is your second favorite place to play?
My second favorite place to play, I would definitely say Mississippi State.
Really?
Yeah, it was a cool environment. They had it rocking in there. I like the ball that they use. They use the Evo ball, the NCAA tournament ball. They had a good crowd. It was loud. The fans are crazy, and I like the rim, shooter rim. So yeah, that was second place.
All right, let's get through some more here. Joseph wants to know, who's the best basketball player you ever played against?
The best basketball player. I played against some pretty good ones. When I would say I seen him was Cade Cunningham. Played for Texas Titans when I was in high school, and it was fun. We only lost by like 5, but yeah, he was probably one of the best players I played against.
There you go. All right, next one. What's your favorite late night snack? Drew wants to know.
I have a lot. I like a lot of snacks. On the cereal side, Cookie Crisp, but I eat a lot of Sour Patch Kids. That's probably my favorite go-to every day before the game. I always eat Sour Patch Kids.
I don't know if you know DK Metcalf. He's a wide receiver. He said all he eats, he drinks a Starbucks coffee, he has a lunch, and then at night all he eats is candy and sour gummies and Sour Patch. Like that's his diet.
Like me.
He's shredded. Like he's like 2% body fat. He's just absolutely shredded, pouring sugar in his mouth. So maybe we need to get on that diet.
Exactly.
Chad wants to know, what's your favorite basketball shoe? Are you a collector?
I would say Kobe's and then Kevin Durant's. But I am a Kobe collector. I have a lot at home. I don't really wear anymore because they're not my size. But yeah, I definitely like Kobe's. They're a really good basketball shoe. And yeah.
All right. Next one up. I think this is one of our final one. Bo wants to know, would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter, and why?
I'd rather have a teleporter. I don't really like to mess with the time. I want to really see the future. Or go back to the past, if anything. But why I would have a teleporter is because I like to travel in the off season. So if I could just travel wherever I wanted to go at the blink of an eye, I would definitely use that. And then I wouldn't have to pay for expensive plane tickets and just travel wherever I wanted to go, and also see my parents whenever I could. So yeah, I'll definitely use a teleporter.
Oh, we got one more remaining, but it's not a question, it's a request. Austin wants to know, can I get a Roll Tide?
Roll Tide.
There it is. That's Latrell Wrightsell. He's one of the biggest reasons Alabama is first in the conference right now. His emergence over the last month or so and being inserted in the starting lineup. This team is playing its best basketball. They need your support tomorrow night at Coleman Coliseum against a very physical Mississippi State team, and you guys go out and support them. Latrell, thanks so much for your time. We're wishing you the best, and go win another SEC title.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thanks so much. That was Latrell Wrightsell, and thank him for his time on a Friday afternoon here at the University. I think he's in the middle of classes. So as I mentioned, we're back in rhythm now with half-hour huddle. We're going to continue rolling these out. As I said, we took some time off for the holidays, and then Coach Saban retired, and then everything was just sort of all over the place here in terms of our efforts and energy. But again, thanks to all of our new members. You guys have really embraced the challenge of making Yale, Alabama one of the best NIL entities in the country. And we feel that love and we feel support. Student athletes certainly feel that way. And we got a lot of big plans coming. We got a new coaching staff on football that's going to be a lot more media friendly. So we're going to have some interviews coming up with Coach DeBoer and the coaching staff and guys around the staff and football players. So we also have an event coming up that we'll have some more information about. But next Wednesday is the traditional National Signing Day. And we're going to be doing a live stream from the stadium. Myself and Jim Dunaway of the next round. And we're going to stream that right here on Yale, Alabama. So you'll be able to see that and get that content. So make sure you're checking your email and our social media. Make sure you're following us on all social media. We'll get some alerts about that. And we'll send you the link will be there. And you'll be able to watch that on the website. Again, thank you all for joining Yale, Alabama. And continue to tell your friends and family, let's not slow this momentum down. Let's keep it rolling and show Coach DeBoer and Coach Oates that this is the best athletic department in the country. We have the best fan base in the country that supports it. Again, thank you for your efforts, and thank you again to Latrell Wrightsell and as Alabama hopes to remain in first place in the SEC. Until next week, this has been Half Hour Huddle. I'm Aaron Suttles. See you next time.